hardcore going to the gym. Now I'm in Canada.
What?
I don't know if I can bring myself to do that. It's just really helped me mentally. This is kind of sus. It's only
Exactly.
back because you said it was back. What do you mean it's back? I'm not in the wrong, so I don't care.
Yeah, as long as you're fine, you're fine. Welcome back to the DaneMellowsTalks podcast. We've got a very special guest this time, and the little intro I've got for you is from sparring with me in the karate dojo to showcasing her absolutely crushing it in the gym to 15.4K TikTok followers, sharing her journey across social media. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, Hannah Amiri. How's it going?
Hey, it's good, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. This is exciting. I've been
Good
ready for
stuff.
this.
Like I mentioned then in the intro that we used to karate together, and I
Yeah,
sent you
no,
that picture
crazy.
before, didn't I?
Oh my gosh.
Little
Yeah,
baby me
no,
and you getting
I'll
our
look a
black
bit
belts.
different if you compare that to now, but
Yeah, well, I kind of look the same, to be honest. So, like a chubby face and long hair. But I found the picture of us when we got our black belts. And it was just thinking then, like going back, how I don't even know how long ago that would have been, like almost 8 years ago,
I
something like
was
that.
10. I think I was 10
10.
and I'm 20 now.
Oh,
So
wow.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, we got our black belts. How mad is that? Going from karate to the fitness journey that you're on now, showcasing on social media, as I was saying, what's the link that you can make from that, from training in karate to what you're doing now?
I think so from karate, like when I was younger, I think I'd always been into like fitness and just moving my body. Like I used to do all sorts. I used to run, I used to swim, but obviously karate was kind of like the one that stuck.
Hmm.
And obviously I started competing the karate at quite a high level. And then I think since COVID, the karate really slowed down. And with COVID came my move to university, which means that like I was too far away from my home club and obviously everything was shut.
Yeah.
So I think that's when I started to more get into like actually hardcore going to the gym as opposed to like teams and sports and things.
Yeah. So what's the highest point that you ended up getting to with karate? Because obviously I'd seen there was me and like my brother and sister who did it, and we just went to the
Yeah.
training and stuff. We didn't really dabble in the competitions, but obviously I got to see you and everybody else there like take it to a really, really high level.
No, it was so cool. I'm so grateful for all the opportunities that I got with that. I had the best time. Um, I did the UWK nationals. Like my height, I remember was getting in 1 year. I came second in the Europeans, fourth in the worlds, and I got 4 golds at the UWK nationals. And that was a top year for me because I think that was the last year before I then went off to uni. So it
Nice.
was kind of a nice way. That was the last time I properly competed.
Hmm.
So it was a nice little way to finish it off.
Closed it off on a massive high.
Close it off on a nice high.
Yeah. And then it was the link to COVID and then moved to uni. And then
Yeah.
now you're in Canada, aren't you?
Now I'm in Canada.
What? Going everywhere. You're going places with
Yeah,
it.
just going crazy.
So is that a year abroad with being in
Yeah, so
Canada?
it's just like an exchange year because I study law with French law.
Hmm.
So a prerequisite of my course was a compulsory exchange year in a country or region that speaks French. And I chose Quebec,
That is very cool.
Montreal, but yeah.
So was it like an easy preference there over like a Paris or anywhere in France?
Well, it depended because I have to study law in like the like said country.
Hmm.
So we only had certain partner country, like partner universities who offered law in French. And I narrowed it down to either Lyon or Montreal. And I thought, you know what? France is so much more easily
It is,
accessible from
yeah.
England than it is to Canada. Like I've never been to this side of the world before. Um, so I just thought that this opens like a much cooler doors to like travel and to do things that aren't
Yeah,
as
yeah.
accessible.
Yeah, well, that's definitely the thing I was about to say. You can get cheap flights across to Paris if you really want to from
True.
here,
Like we
not
were
to
talking about before,
Montreal.
24 flights to Milan, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You can go to Europe like that from England. You can't with Canada. So I've never
Absolutely.
been, and it's somewhere I've always wanted to go.
Yeah, well, I'm here now.
Yeah.
So I'm not even coming home for Christmas.
Oh, really?
No, because I just thought if I've got it's flights are expensive, man. I'm broke.
True, true.
So if I've got that spare cash, I'm just going to spend it traveling here, which
Yeah.
is I don't plan on doing.
What are your
So
plans for Christmas then? Are you spending it with like some mates that you've made in Canada?
yeah, so quite a few of us are staying here actually. Like
Right,
I'm in a 9-person house, and quite a few people are also doing either exchange years or their whole degree here, but they all
right.
come from someone's from Morocco, someone's from Tunisia,
Oh,
someone else is from my university as well, and we're all staying. So we're just gonna have a nice little Christmas together.
that's really cool then. To have like a house of everyone from everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. Really cool. That's another good thing about a year abroad, the fact that you're meeting people that you would never
Yeah.
meet otherwise. But
So
yeah.
what's it like transitioning from doing all your gym TikToks and everything at home to then transitioning with uni and doing law with it in Canada?
Well, in terms of like initially balancing it all, like it's kind of hard because like I'll get up in the morning, go to the gym every day. Like that's what I feel most motivated to do. Like because going to the gym, obviously, it releases endorphins. It makes you feel
Hmm.
good, and like that's why I like to gym in the morning over the evening because it sets me up really well for my day. And then obviously after I've done all that, it's like, oh, I've got so much reading to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And like it kind of is a big dampener on the post gym high. But then in terms of moving here, I actually didn't get a gym membership until like maybe like 3-4 weeks in. Because when I
Hmm.
first got here, it was quite a big adjustment. Because I'm not like a homesicky person. I'm quite an independent person by nature.
Hmm.
And I think first moving here, not everyone had moved into the house yet. I didn't know anyone. Term hadn't started. My course started before everyone else's because it like law starts early here compared to other
Right.
courses for some reason. So like no one else was really here yet. So I was very much felt by myself.
Oh,
It was really daunting. I was like, oh no, like everyone's telling me the year abroad is going to be the best year of my life. And I just feel very lonely. So I didn't
oh,
really have the motivation to go out and find, but eventually people started to
yeah,
move in, make friends. And then I was like, right, okay, it's time to get a gym membership.
yeah. So you settled in and then you could get straight back to it.
Yeah, straight back to it afterwards. And then once you get the ball rolling again, it's all just comes back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think motivation with it and like that things can get in the way, but motivation with it is like a very key factor because I
Yeah.
only first started going to the gym just before COVID, and I felt like I was in like a really good, I had some strong motivation for going, and I was in a really good rhythm. And then COVID hit, and I really struggled to get back into it afterwards. And it's only been literally like the past month, maybe month and a half, that I've now got back into a solid routine again with it and trying to
Yeah.
actually like get some goals in there.
I think it's like, for me, it's like planning my days out in my week. So it's like, right, okay, Monday is push day, Tuesday is pull day, Wednesday legs, then I've got a rest day because I've got like 3 uni classes, so I don't have time. It's like
Hmm.
planning out your weeks and when you're going to go to the gym before you do it. So it's kind of like, oh, I can't do this because I'm going to the gym. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like a staple in your routine that you can't just skip whenever, and that helps you keep the consistency and motivation going as well. I think as long as you're not doing it in like a toxic way, like if you don't like going to the gym, don't go. But yeah,
forcing yourself
don't
to
force
go. Yeah, it's
yourself to
not
do
going
it
to
if you
help.
hate it. But
Yeah.
because I really feel passionate about finding a form of exercise that you love to take away all the toxicity surrounding health
Hmm.
and fitness. So it's not like everyone's got to go to the gym. It's just I love going to the gym, and I know a lot of other people do too.
It is good once you're going for the right reasons, I think. The
Yeah,
one thing that's helped me stick with it this time, with other times I've not really known what I've been doing. Not that I really know now, but
do
other
it to
times
any
I've
of
just
us.
yeah, exactly. Other times I've just gone through and been like, well, I'll go when I want to and this, that, and the other. But like you say, now I have been like getting it into my weekly plan, getting it into my schedule, and I've been going. And the one thing that's actually like exciting me to go is writing down everything that I'm doing, the weights that I'm using and the reps that I'm doing on them. And every time I go in, I'll try and beat it. And
That's
I get a bit
overloading, my
excited.
friend. You know,
Yeah. But I have like a bit of a that's what's motivating me at the moment. It's that I can go in and try and beat
getting
what I was doing
stronger.
last
Yeah,
time.
like yourself is your only competition.
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect.
Because I think the other times it has been a case of comparing it to other people and trying to get to a certain, like what you see on Instagram and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, no, I hate that because obviously, like, I might post like a PB and be like, wow, like, guys, I've got a 200 kilogram hip thrust. And then people, it's like, oh, I can only hip thrust like 80. I'm like, yeah, but I have been like hip thrusting for like 2 years now and I've really been pushing it. So, like, you can't just go from like 0 to 100. And obviously, everything's comparative too. Like, I'm 5'9". I'm quite a tall girl.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I always try my best to try and make it clear that you shouldn't compare yourself to other people. You're only in competition with yourself and beating yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's not like you've just walked into the gym on your first day and you've hit that. Is
Absolutely
you've
not.
put the time and effort into it. Yeah.
It's like I feel like you also just learn as you go too. Like I look
Mhm.
back at old videos and I'm like, where I thought I was smashing it, and I look back at them now and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
I do that with some of my old videos that I have on YouTube. I'm just like, I thought this was like so good when I put it out, and I look
yeah,
back and I'm like,
smashing
I
it.
can't
I
finish
scroll
the
back through my
video.
old feed or my old TikToks. I'm like,
Yep.
ah,
I'm like, nope.
absolutely
But
not.
do you find it hard to find that balance between like being a motivational figure for people to look up to on Instagram, but then also you don't want them to think, oh, well, I'm not where she is, so I should just give up.
I find in my opinion, actually, in terms of people who've messaged me, I find it's actually kind of rare for people to think I'm not where this person is, so I'm just going to give up.
Right.
A lot of the time, it's just like, oh, I'm struggling with motivation at the minute. Like, have you got any ideas on how you can help me with getting my motivation up there? And
Right.
as I always say, like consistency really is key. If you implement it into your routine, like weekly, say if you want to go 4 times a week, if you implement what days and plan when you're going to go, it really helps you stay consistent. And when you stay consistent, that's when it becomes like a staple kind of part of your life,
Hmm.
ingrained into your routine rather than just like, oh, might go to the gym later.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's that
That's when
idea
you're going to
of
see
building.
progress.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's the idea of like building a habit around it.
Yes,
And I
that's
think they
exactly
say,
what words I was looking for. Building a
yeah,
habit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they say like it takes 3 weeks to build a habit, and then after 3 weeks, it becomes a routine,
Yeah.
which then you're
So
used to
it's
doing.
exactly that. It really is.
So, what is when people are asking you for that key bit of advice, if they are lacking the motivation, how important is it to have those weekly plans that you can then stay consistent with it?
Very important, in my opinion. Obviously, everybody is different, but I know for me personally, if I don't plan out what I'm doing on every day, then obviously as a student as well as a law student,
Hmm.
who even last year, I don't at the moment, but I previously had like a part-time job to balance it with as well as other extracurricular activities. And you can just find yourself getting very overwhelmed and the gym's just not a priority. It's like, well, I've got all this work to do, I've got class, then I've got to go to work. I just don't have time for the gym. And when
Hmm.
people say they don't have time for the gym, it's like you make time for things you want to do.
Yeah.
So if it's something that matters to you and you're really passionate about it, then plan your time out, time blocks of what you're doing each day. I do this every Sunday. So every Sunday I'll plan out my week
Yeah.
to make the most out of it and know what needs to be done for when. So I know I can fit everything into the week that I want to do. And I find that most effective for me personally.
I do the exact same.
Yeah.
I have a notepad where I note down everything I want to do in
I
a week,
opt
and
with
every Sunday.
a
Oh, nice, nice.
whiteboard.
Yeah. I've got my notepad up there and it's one of those like weekly planners.
Yes.
But then I also use I just have like Google Sheets on my phone and fill it all out on there and like time
Google
block it.
Sheets. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea actually.
Because I've got I love it. I've got it all like color coordinated
Oh,
and everything.
I wish I was one of those people. It's like Excel spreadsheets. I'm not very good with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet you're
But
good with an Excel spreadsheet.
huh?
Bet you're good with an Excel spreadsheet. I can
Well,
tell.
I can do about changing the color of the blocks on it and then that's
Oh
about it.
yeah, you know what?
But
It's more than me. So
yeah, well, it's a win. But I think it is going back to that idea of going to the gym is doing something for yourself, and you need to prioritize things that are going to benefit yourself. And if you're not prioritizing going to the gym, then it is that lack of I'm not helping myself with this, and you're losing that time of like taking yourself out to do that.
I also find like thinking about it, the gym actually just is an investment in your time. And
Mhm.
what I mean by that is like throughout your day, if you're solely just doing loads of uni work, doing all your assignments, then going to your part-time job, you're not going to maximize your productivity if you just feel
Mhm.
slumped and you're struggling to concentrate. Like, get up and move your body. Like, go to the gym, quick hour, come back, and then you'll be like raring to go, and you'll feel like picked up and ready to start your work again. Because like I said previously, exercise releases endorphins. It's really good, not just for your body, but for your mind.
Yeah.
So it can really help by investing that time and going to the gym. It can help maximize your productivity throughout the day, I find.
I think even just starting it off with like a daily walk.
Yeah, literally.
That's what I used to do.
Literally
It's
just
just if
getting
you
up,
needed
getting some fresh air and moving your body.
exactly. But now it will. I think a lot of people as well. They think that you have to spend like 2 hours in the gym for it to be a good session. Where
No.
sometimes I guess you can just go through, even if it's just half an hour, 45 minutes. If you just needed that time in there
Yeah,
to get in the
absolutely.
right headspace and get back.
Headphones in, some good music on, and just in there, just with yourself.
Yeah, listening to this podcast,
Listening to
whatever you
this
want to do.
podcast.
Yeah. But so on top of building the habit of the weekly plan, how much does planning your meals come into seeing progress with the gym?
I actually don't plan my meals. I
Oh,
used
really?
to calorie count when I was in my weight gain journey,
Hmm.
just because I think genetically I've got quite a slim build, so I found it quite hard to gain weight. So I found calorie counting just was the most effective way
It
for
just
me to
helps.
do
Yeah.
that. But then past a point, it kind of takes the fun out of it for me. Obviously, everybody's
Mhm.
different. So I certainly wouldn't recommend everybody to calorie count because I think for a lot of people, it's counterproductive and it
Hmm.
can create this sort of toxicity surrounding health and fitness that makes it not fun anymore. Whereas, like, so now I don't track my calories. I try and mentally I track my protein intake because I know the macros on everything now.
Nice.
So I mentally track my protein. However, for calories and everything else, I just try and eat whole fresh foods and foods that nourish my body and make me feel good.
Yeah, just good foods and enough
Good
of it.
food, yeah, and enough of it, I think. Um, yeah, like I was previously saying, I know especially a lot of young girls, it's very counterproductive to count
Hmm.
calories because obviously there's like a massive rise in eating disorders and like body dysmorphia and things. You see it all over social media. I feel like a lot of people have struggled with eating, which is really sad. And that's why I think you shouldn't be just going to the gym just to change what you look like. You should be doing it because
Hmm.
it makes you feel good.
It has those benefits as well, though, which I think a lot of people shy away from talking about. Yeah, you get the physical benefits, but working on your mind and your mental health as well. The gym is
Invaluable,
also the gym for that. Yeah.
100%.
So with things like eating disorders, I know that you've spoken about those on your TikToks before. Do you feel like now you've got quite a bit of a following that you have sort of like a responsibility to talk about those things and to help the people that are following you that might have those troubles?
I guess slightly, yeah. Well, yeah, because I think previously, like, I was always just naturally really slim. Like, I used to get picked on a bit and people would make comments. I always strongly remember once actually at a karate competition, um, you know how you could move up an age category, compete in your age category and the age category above.
Yeah.
So I lost in my age category, didn't place anywhere, and then I won the 18 plus. So I was
Oh.
really confused. So I just thought, I'm going to go and ask the ref just kindly and be like, hey, have you got any pointers for me on how I can improve? Because I just won the 18 plus, yet didn't
Yeah.
place in the 16 to 18 category. And he said, like, the other girls were just mostly because you just basically told me I was too skinny.
Right.
I really remember this. So I wasn't very, he says, like, you're really slim, so it's not very powerful. The other girls are a lot more like, and I was like,
Cheers for that, mate. See
bruh.
you later.
So yeah, and then in terms of going back to having like a moral obligation to spread like word of eating disorders and things to my
Yeah.
following. I guess since I know how prevalent they are, I try and push fitness as in more of a healthy way to get stronger and build muscle as opposed to weight loss. Like my page or anything is nothing to do with calorie deficits and weight loss. If anything, I've promoted weight. Well, I hope I've tried to promote like weight gain, healthy weight gain, because I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
too skinny and it wasn't healthy. So I tried to gain weight, and I feel so much better for it. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, I'm happier. So that's what I guess would try and promote the most.
I definitely agree with that from looking through all your stuff that you've promoted that instead of weight loss, especially from your Instagram. Honestly, I went on your Instagram and I really loved the layout of it. And I wanted to make a comment on this. Do you know how you've got it? I'm hoping this is intentional because it looks very intentional. How you've got like one column of it of all meals.
Yay!
Yeah, I
Yes.
saw I saw that, and when I went on it, it was the middle column as well, so it looked even better. And I was like, she's done that intentionally, and it looks really good.
Oh yeah, I'm happy
Um,
with that. Thank you.
but yeah, so back to Instagram and that sort of Instagram versus reality sort of thing. I know that you've made a couple of posts talking about that and showing that sort of thing. What does that mean to you, and has it affected you in your fitness journey?
I think it's very easy to compare everything to what you see online. But I guess knowing your own body and how you can change your own body to look how you want it to look for social media is a prime example of why you shouldn't then compare yourself to others. Because like some of my posts, you can see like I'll be standing up with some good gym lighting. I'll be like, wow, I look ripped. I've got abs. And then as soon as you turn the overhead lighting off and I'm wearing my tight gym clothes, the skin will just, flop out the middle. And it's not because
Right,
I'm
right.
too fat. It's not because I'm overweight and ugly and disgusting. It's just because I'm vacuum packing myself
Mm,
gym clothes.
yeah,
It's normal. Not everyone
it's
looks
nothing to be ashamed of.
nothing to be ashamed of. That's
Yeah,
just the way your body looks, and it's just skin.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
I saw a post that you put on as well that links quite nicely to this about, was it the New York Post, the article on there where it was
heroin
something
chic,
about the huh?
heroin chic.
Yeah, yeah, that one. The skinny is back. So what was your thoughts on that?
Oh, I know this kind of blew up in the fitness community on Instagram and TikTok.
That's why I didn't see it. Um,
It blew like everyone was making their own posts on it. I kind of loved how to see all the fitness community come together to make a stand that
yeah.
that wasn't acceptable. And I even had people commenting and telling me like, well, if you actually clicked on the post and read what the article was about, then you'd realize that they're actually not promoting it. I'm like, no, but you don't understand. Like they know what they're doing, creating a headline
Hmm.
like that. They know that not everyone's going to
Clickbait
read the
for it.
article. I actually did read the article, but they know that not everyone's going to read the article. They know that people just scroll and see this clickbait title saying heroin chic is back with pictures of loads of really skinny famous people. And what do they think that's doing to young girls' minds when that's what they see when they're scrolling through social media? Do you think a 13-year-old girl is going to click on and read that article? No, they just see what you put out there, and what you chose to put out there was a headline saying heroin chic is back, when it's only back
Exactly.
because you said it was back. What do you mean it's back? Some
Yeah, it's
people
not up
lost
to you
weight
to
and you
decide
decided
that.
to make the assumption that heroin chic is back. No,
Hmm.
just celebrities lost some weight and you decided to make that generalization.
It is that idea that you were
What?
saying though of they know exactly what they're doing with the
Yeah,
marketing side of it, where they know that that title will draw all this attention to it, which it has. Obviously, everyone's turned around hating on it, which is the right thing, but it has drawn that attention to that.
yeah,
And think about the amount of people that have now been on that article and read it. They've got what they wanted in the end of it, but the
yeah,
negative aspects that they've put out from it is just detrimental. So it's really good that, like you're saying, everyone in that fitness community has stepped out and gone against it.
yeah. Maybe I should just quickly mention for people who haven't seen the article. It's the New York Post posted a an article saying heroin chic is back with some pictures of like some really skinny supermodels from the 80s, some pictures of Kim and Khloe Kardashian who've lost quite a lot of weight recently. And yeah, it went very viral of people just saying it's not acceptable to have to make women's bodies a trend. Um,
Which it isn't acceptable whatsoever.
no, it's really not. It's we've moved so far past that to then just take 100 steps back was just awful.
It is. So that's like a very, very negative side of like fitness on social media.
The
But
ugly side.
you've seen the positive side of it as well with growing your TikTok and working with different brands.
Yes.
I've seen. Which do you want to tell us a little about a bit about them? I see. Is it Define?
Define.
Um,
Um,
My Protein.
yeah. So it's actually like it's crazy to think about because like if you asked me before, like when you're younger and I used to watch like Zoella and these other
Hmm.
YouTubers and they would do like a PR haul, and now it's crazy. Like I remember once just coming home to a massive box from My Protein, a gym set from Bowen Tea, which is O'Polly's brand, and then a gym set from Able as well, which is like some of the biggest gym brands. And I just came home and I was like, this is pretty mad.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. Like I just made a little TikTok because no one else really had that same, none of my friends had the same hobby of the gym as me. So I just thought it'd be fun to make a TikTok. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
now I just prance around with free protein and gym clothes that I absolutely love.
Yeah, yeah. How mad is that though? That like you say, back in the day, you was watching Zoella do it, and it's now you that gets the chance to do it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I'm so lucky. And it's the fact that My Protein, especially, was the
Hmm.
only brand that I would ever use, ever. From the first bag of protein I bought when I was doing karate, that was the only protein brand I would ever buy anything from. And then for them to message me and saying, hey,
Hmm.
like we've seen some of your TikToks, like we'd like to work with you. And it's like, no way. So I would spend like what a ridiculous amount of money that I didn't really have
Mhm.
on all of these vast array of clothes and supplements when now you're just saying like, hey, like take it.
Yeah, yeah. Now you're getting paid to
It's
get stuff like
wild.
that. That is absolutely crazy. Is that how they've came about then? You've been posting TikToks and they've reached out to you.
Yeah. So I've never messaged a brand asking for anything. I think that's not really me. I don't know. It seems a bit
Mhm.
beggy. I don't know if I can bring myself to do that. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but I actually posted a TikTok once of using because conveniently some actually here.
There
Um,
you go. It's
so
always at hand.
always at hand. So clear whey, I don't know if anyone knows what clear whey is, but it's literally protein powder that's made to be mixed with water and it tastes like juice. And I made a TikTok of me using that as a alcohol mixer at uni.
Oh, yeah,
Of me just like putting straight vodka in this, saying like, "Hey guys, this is your sign to get the gains whilst you're getting drunk for your night out." And
yeah.
I think it probably got maybe like a 250,000 views, something like that.
Oh,
And
wow.
then I got a DM on Instagram from a woman who works for marketing from My Protein, and she asked for my email address. I was like, "What's going on?" And then
Hmm.
I remember she emailed me saying, "Hey, like I saw your TikTok using Clearway as a mixer, and I just had to get you on board." And I only had like 7,000 8,000 followers at the time, so it was crazy to me because I didn't expect any messages from any brands with
Yeah, yeah.
or because I never see anyone be sponsored by anyone unless they've got at least 10K.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was
I mean,
wild.
seven, 8,000 is still a lot, but I guess you
Yeah,
do
of course.
still sort of think it's the
Yeah.
higher follow accounts that get those brand
Yeah.
deals and everything.
Especially because like in my eyes, like My Protein was like the sponsorship.
Hmm.
If I was ever gonna get one, that was like the goal. And to get it so soon was really crazy because I just didn't expect it at all.
Do you have any brands now then that have got sort of not replaced that top goal, but that you have goals to work with in the future?
I think it's more like I want to work more in depth with the brands that I love. So like My
Right.
Protein is well, I hope the only supplement brand I would choose to work with because it's like I said previously, that's the only brand I would ever use anyway. So why would I
Hmm.
then swap to something else that was never my favorite? Unless there's a new brand that I'm open to that might fall in love with, who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
But
Never say never,
never
but
say
it is
never.
that.
But to me, like nothing can beat My Protein, and I would love to as soon as I get back to England, make keep putting effort into making good content for them so I can join their photo shoots, their panels, their events. Like that would be a goal for me, just to be more involved with the brands that I
Yeah.
work with. But in terms of new brands that I'd like to work with, you know what I would always wanted to try. Have you heard of Honor Active? Honor Active.
I haven't. No, no.
It's there's a fitness influencer called Chrissy Sealer. I think that's how you pronounce her
Hmm.
surname. And I think she's maybe got like 3 million followers on Instagram. And she made her own fitness brand. And I've always wanted to try their clothes. It looks amazing. But so maybe that's one. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I
Especially if
guess
it's ran by an influencer,
yeah,
then
no, she seems really positive. I would recommend anyone who's into fitness to check her out.
that'd be really, really cool.
Definitely be a goal.
So going to the gym as often as you do, you're bound to like see a few characters in there. Have you had any like negative or just weird experiences with people in there?
But I feel like as it's the same with probably most females in the gym, you'll encounter creepy males.
Mm,
They are, it's quite a pandemic. There's so many weirdos in the gym, but one does specifically
oof.
stand out. It was quite a negative experience.
Hmm.
Um, so this was I went to the gym that I went to at uni. I went to go to the University of Leeds when I'm not in Montreal.
Yeah.
Um,
Bit of a trek
there's
to get
kind
to
of
your
like,
lectures from
yeah, a bit
there.
of a
Yeah.
trek. um, there's kind of one gym a couple of gyms that most of the students go to. They're very student heavy gyms
Hmm.
and they're always very busy. And this specific JD gym was full of students. And a guy just came up to me once and just started chatting to me, saying, "Hey." And I was just like, "Oh, I love a friendly gym environment,
Yeah.
just all chatting positivity." And he asked me like for my number. So I was like, okay, why not? I didn't have a boyfriend at the time.
Hmm.
I just thought, you know what? My friends were always telling me off for writing people off too quickly, give someone a
Yeah,
chance.
give it a go. Yeah.
And yeah, so we were messaging a little bit and he would always come up to me and say hey in the gym every time because we both went like every day. So we would cross paths quite regularly and he would just come say hi and we'd have a little chat. And then he said to me like, well, we should like either like go out sometime or go for a drive or something. And I was telling my housemates about it and I'm so scared if some like no, someone's watching this. Oh well, you know what? I'm not in the wrong, so I don't care.
Yeah, as long as
Whatever.
you're fine, you're fine.
Oh my God, this is so I was telling my housemates, and my housemates was like, he's like a really big character of MedSoc because studied medicine.
Right.
So he was quite like high up in medicine society, MedSoc. Um, like she knew who he was. And she was like, yeah, you should like go, like you always write people off too quickly. Just go, what have you got to lose?
Hmm.
But just as a warning, he does have a bit of a reputation.
Right.
So I was like,
Okay.
right, okay,
Keep
I'll
it in
bear that in
mind.
mind.
Yeah.
And I already wasn't too sure like if he was my vibe anyway. I just kind of just thought, fuck it, why not?
Hmm.
Just it's just a date, like that's it. And yeah, so we ended up getting some food at his house. And yeah, like I stayed for a few hours, went home, and started the messaging fizzled out a little bit because I was like, yeah, he's not 100% really my vibe.
Right.
I gave it a go, but not really my vibe. And then a couple, like maybe a month or something later, I saw a different girl who I know goes to the same gym
Hmm.
posting some TikToks with him. And I was like, okay, this is only like a month after we went on a date. This is kind of sus
Hmm.
because who's going to publicly post things with a male if it's not
After a month.
serious? How can it get serious when we
Yeah.
only went on a date a month ago? So I went and told my housemates about it. And one of my housemates said, I do dance with her
Oh,
and I'll ask
we can
her.
find out.
She asked her and it was her boyfriend. And she said, like, oh, like my housemate went on a date. Like, how long have you been together? My housemate went on a date with him like a month ago. She went, we were together then. And I was like,
Mm.
yeah, but that the whole time. And she actually told her this at a dance social
Oh, a
and
social.
at a
So
social.
the
And I
drinking as
think,
well.
yeah, I don't think, obviously, like complete respect to her. Like I've spoken to her about it. I literally said to Alice, go tell her, like literally tell her. She needs to know. I don't give a fuck about this man. You go
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
her.
yeah. She needs to know about.
And she went and told her, and yeah, just she reacted probably how I would react.
Hmm.
Very, very not happy. And then he instantly blocked me on Instagram and Snapchat. Um, and yeah, and I remember I didn't like, because obviously we were all from the same gym,
Hmm.
and I saw it in the gym like a couple of
Oh
days
yeah,
later, and I didn't want there to be any awkwardness. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay, because I saw him once, didn't know he was with anyone. As soon as I found out that he might have been with her at the time, I said to my friend, "Go tell her, she
yeah.
needs to know."
You made sure that she knew.
Um, yeah, I made sure that she knew. So I went and spoke to her in the gym. I was like, "Hey, like I'm not too sure if you know who I am, but I'm Hannah." And I just wanted to like, is everything okay? Like, is calm. But she was so lovely about the situation. I think she handled it really well.
Yeah,
And it's
definitely.
really well if any of them are watching this or listening to this. Um, but anyways, complete respect to her, complete no
Yeah,
respect to her. It's the end of the story.
yeah. It's good that she reacted like that though, because I think a lot of people in that situation, I think if they're not in really the right mind of it, then they get annoyed at
Blame the other
you.
person, like the other
Yeah,
girl
yeah.
or the boy.
Yeah, if they can't see where the actual blame is, because I know you didn't know anyway. I'm sure if you did know, then it wouldn't have happened. But if you did know, then you have no responsibility or no loyalty to her. It's all on him. Not that you should do it anyway, but do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, like as soon as I knew, I was literally just like, right,
Yeah,
go tell her, like, fuck him. Like, I didn't even
yeah,
like him anyway.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
literally didn't
Exactly.
even like him anyway. I don't give a fuck about this boy. Like, go tell her.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. Well, yeah,
but
you
yeah, it was a
definitely
bit
did the
awkward
right
seeing
thing
him in the
about it.
gym from then onwards, because it was just
Yeah,
like it went from like him always coming over to be like, "Hey, how's it going?" to just literally like no eye contact, acting like we
yeah.
don't know each other.
But you both know that you're both there.
We both know, you know that I told your girlfriend that
Hmm.
you were acting wrong.
Yeah, and you both know that you both like avoiding eye contact at the same time. But it is what it is. You definitely did the right thing in that situation.
Yeah, no, 100% don't regret that. And it gave you a funny story for the podcast, so
And there we go. Perfect. So something that I do on this podcast is every guest asks the next guest a question. And you probably know where I've got the idea of it from. The Diary of a CEO podcast.
yes, I love this podcast so much.
So yeah, we was both saying before how that's like a go-to podcast for us, especially when I'm in the gym. I love listening to that one. Um, but yeah, so it's up to you which way around we do it. You can either ask your question first, or you can answer the question from Sean.
Maybe I'll answer the question first.
So have you seen The Boys on Amazon Prime?
No,
Do you know what it is?
no.
Okay, well, there's this show called The Boys on Amazon Prime. And there was an actor who I only interviewed a couple of hours ago. But his name's Sean Mazoka, and he played this superhero in a really cool episode in there. So I had him on, and his question for you was, what inspires you to do what you do?
Trying to be the happiest and healthiest version of myself,
Mm,
and myself, myself,
myself.
and spreading myself and spreading that positivity with other people. Um, I've noticed I've noticed all the mental health benefits of exercise and going to the gym, and starting this social media. It's kind of felt like my outlet,
Mm,
my space to do and say whatever I want. Like, even if there's how 15,000 people watching what I'm saying, it's like a private story for me. I feel like I can just say and post what I want, and I don't care
yeah,
what people think. And I think, as well as getting stronger in the gym every week, it's just really helped me mentally be in a much happier place, and more positive as a person.
good. That's really good
So
to hear. Really good to hear. And I think that is a really good reason to be getting into it, and to see that such like a genuine good reason to then grow into where you now have a following that can then pass it on to other people, and you could do things like this and make the TikToks that then inspires other people, and then you're like their figure of motivation. It's a really cool position to be in.
Thank you. It's so weird because it's to say like your figure of motivation because to me it's like I'm still no one. I'm just chilling, posting these videos just for the lols.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
People are actually watching them and listening to what I've got to say. It's crazy.
I think the idea of using it as like a private story sort of thing is the best way
Yeah,
to
just
do
to
it.
get like the raw version of me
Yeah.
just out there.
You did something the other day which I thought was really cool on your story, and it was as you was getting ready, you was like, "Oh, probably most of you have never heard me speak before, or never,"
Yeah.
and you was like doing a bit of a get to know me as you were getting ready, and I thought that's like a really nice personal touch to something that,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, that's something that like most of the time with people, it is just like, let me show you what I'm doing, and then that's all that you're getting from me.
Yeah, no, I just find it really weird to think that I'd got quite a few extra followers on Instagram that week, and I thought, you know what, like none of you actually know who I am. Like, why have you followed me? Like, maybe I'll just have a little chat because I like my favorite like influencers or like social media figures are the ones who I feel like I know.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when they chat, I love voiceovers. I love people chatting. I think it's just way more personal. So I think as I've noticed that that's something I really appreciate in others, that I
Mhm.
should try and incorporate that into my own social media accounts.
I think that's a really good way to look at it, to see what people who are really successful and have been successful at doing it, what works for them. And especially if you're taking in their content and you're getting inspired by them, you can then flip it like you're in their position, and the position you are to them is what other people are to you. So
Yeah.
what you like seeing them
Um,
do is what people are going to like to see you do.
yeah, like I don't want to just be this like strange randomer
Hmm.
just online you just follow, just see a few gym videos and that's it. I want to have like a personal connection. Like I don't care however many followers I've got. I want it to just kind of be like, sounds so cringe, but I just want to just be like your friend. Just want you to chat to me like I'm your friend. Like
Yeah.
message me if you want any tips. I'll give you some tips. If you've got anything like any questions about my recipes, my workouts, just drop me a message and I'll always reply and just chat to you. I always send voice notes as well. People ask me questions, I'll just reply with really long voice notes just because that's just how I am. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think I have a few from doing uni videos that message me specifically about like the uni and asking for advice, and it's always voice notes that they get back. I find it
Yeah.
rubbish to
I
you'll get
love
a
that
more
though.
authentic
I love
message.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, authentic. Yeah, I love that word.
it is really good to do
Very
it
much
like that. So,
indeed.
do you have a question for the next guest?
Okay. How do you try and project positivity for yourself and others?
That's a very good question, and I hope they've got a good
Seems
answer for it.
I hope so
Just have this
too.
really negative person on, like, it's not really what I do, to be honest with you.
Oh no.
No, but no, they should.
Not ideal. Well, if that's what they've got to say, that's what they've got to say.
Well, I think the next guest, I've definitely got one booked in for the 5th of December to do an in-person one, and I'm guessing that that's going to be the next guest that I have on, because we're going away and everything in between now and then. I don't think I'll have time to do another interview, but I think he'll have a really good answer for it. So hopefully, yeah.
Okay.
So for your answer to that question, I'm guessing it'd be the sort of things that you're posting on online and like that body positivity sort of
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, like in making sure that in a fitness context, is obviously how I try and project my positivity. Just for the mental health benefits, you become more positive mentally by working out for the right reasons, not to try and change the way you look like, to try and become the skinniest version of yourself.
Mm.
Try and get stronger. You're only in competition with yourself, and then you'll be able to see the knock-on effects and your mental positivity in other areas of your life.
Oh, really good. I like it. I like it.
Perfect.
Well,
I'm glad.
well, yeah. Thank you very much for jumping on the podcast today. It's been really good. It's very
Thank you for
motivational as
having
well.
me.
It's me. I might go to
Thank
the gym
you.
now. To be honest, got me ready to go.
He's raring to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. It's been really nice to have a catch up with you.
Yeah, no, you too. It's been so nice. See
All
ya.
right. Bye.